Om Shanti. This is the Sakar Murli of 19th of November 2022. Essence. Sweet children, the Purifier Father has come to purify you and give you your inheritance of the pure world. Only those who become pure will receive salvation. Question. What is the main basis for transforming a bhogi life (a life of sensual pleasures) into a yogi life? Answer. Faith. Until you have the faith that the one who is teaching you is the unlimited Father himself, neither will be able to have yoga nor will you be able to study. You remain a bhogi life. You remain a bhogi. Some children come to class, but they don't have faith in the one who is teaching them. They understand that there is some power here, but they wonder how it could be possible for incorporeal Shiv Baba to teach them. This is nothing new. Children who have such stone intellects cannot be transformed. Song. Salutations to Shiva. Om Shanti. You children do understand that Shiv Baba is explaining to you. He isn't going to say over and over again, God speaks. It's against the law to praise yourselves repeatedly. Shiv Baba, who is the father of all of us, sits here and explains to all of us children. He enables us to attain our unshakable and constant deity sovereignty for 21 births. Students in schools and colleges know that their teachers are teaching them and making them into barristers the same as themselves, and that is their aim and objective. However, when people go to spiritual gatherings to listen to the Vedas and scriptures, they don't receive anything from that. This is why teachers are at least better in that they give you a worldly education to help you to earn an income for your livelihood, but all the rest lend you to degradation. If a son doesn't want to get married, his father would tell him that he won't receive his inheritance and that he can go wherever he wants. Here, the father gives you nectar to drink and also gives you the inheritance. He says, become pure and you will become the masters of the pure world. There is so much difference between the limited Father and the unlimited Father. That one takes you into the night, whereas this one takes you into the day. This one is the purifier. They say that there is only one bestower of salvation who comes and grants salvation to all. So, then, who brought about degradation? They don't know this. The Father explains, all are following devilish dictates. You come here to change from devils into deities. This is Indraprasth (court of Indra). Even some impure people come and sit here secretly. Many who indulge in vice secretly also go to all the centers. They then return home and drink poison. These two things cannot continue at the same time. They become those with stone intellects. They don't recognize the Father at all. They have no faith at all that the unlimited Father is teaching them. They simply come and sit here. So neither are they able to have yoga nor are they able to study. They remain those who indulge in sensual pleasures. Many think that there is some power here, but they wonder how incorporeal Shiv Baba come here. This is not even written in any of the scriptures. These are new things. They speak of the birthday of Shiva, but because they have stone intellects, they are unable to understand it. It is because Shiva consists, it is because Shiva exists that all devotees remember him. They say salutations to Shiva because they believe that he resides in the Supreme Abode. The Supreme Father is also our Father. He is the Father of everyone. In Bharat too, there are people who don't believe in the Father. It is very different to explain to human beings. It is very difficult to explain to human beings. People don't even understand that this is the time of degradation. On the path of devotion, there was unadulterated devotion at first, but that but it has now become adulterated. There is so much difference between adulterated and unadulterated. Those are sinful souls, and these are charitable souls. Unadulterated worship is real devotion. At that time, that is the copper age. People were happy. They had wealth and prosperity. In the Iron Age, they experience greater degradation. When they start to perform adulterated devotion, they indulge in vice a lot more. Day by day, the vices are becoming stronger and stronger. At first, the vices were satopradhan and they are now tamopradhan. Everyone is now completely tamopradhan. There is so much fighting in every home. Shiv Baba sits here and explains to you children, Krishna is not the father. They don't know the biography of anyone. This one is the purifier. They believe that the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul, is the ocean of knowledge. No ocean of water can be the purifier or knowledgeful. People consider rivers of water that have emerged from oceans of water to be the purifiers. Now, you should ask them about this, just as you should ask about the occupation of the God of the Gita. The incorporeal Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul, is the Creator, whereas Sri Krishna is the creation. Therefore, who is the God of the Gita? Only the one would be called God. How could Vedas then be God? How could Vyas then be God? You should ask such questions. The Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul, the Purifier, is the ocean of knowledge. How do these Ganges of knowledge emerge from Him? The Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul, creates the mouth-born Brahmin creation through the lotus lips of Brahma. They are receiving knowledge from the mouth of Brahma, through which they gain salvation. So, are you purified by an ocean of water or ocean of knowledge? Human beings cannot be purified by water, therefore, you have to ask them this riddle. By being asked this, they can become the masters of the pure world. They call out to him, O purifier Rama, who belongs to Sita, come. Then they go and battle in the Ganges. Therefore, this riddle should also be added. Everything applies at the night time. For instance, just as there is the question about the God of the Gita, so this too is a question like that. You do think about what things you should make, so that people are able to keep them with themselves all the time as a memento. If it is something good, they would keep it with themselves at the time, all the time. If it is something just on paper, they would throw it away. If it is something nice to do with the deities, they would not tear it up. Those who practice doing service would think about these things throughout the day and they would definitely do something practical. You must not simply talk about how something should be done. Whom do you tell this to? Would Baba do it or would the children do it? Speak. Who would do it? The father gives you directions. Print such good pictures. Make calendars. You should also have calendars of Trimurti Shiva. It is right to say Trimurti Shiv Jayanti. It is wrong to say simply Shiv Jayanti. A child has the desire to print a color calendar of Trimurti Shiv Jayanti. You can receive a very good explanation from the Trimurti. Therefore, Baba has had lockets made so that you can give proper explanation through them. Shiv Baba grants salvation through Brahma. Those who make effort become the masters of the land of Vishnu. Those who don't take knowledge are led to destruction. They experience punishment and don't attain a status. Devotees remember God, but when God comes, very few recognize Him or belong to Him. They are handful out of multi-millions. Those who make effort for liberation cannot claim a good status. Their sins won't be absolved. Therefore, they are given visions. The founders of religions also come to take drishti. By having remembrance and having your sins absolved, you can claim a high status. The main ones of other religions will also come at the end. It isn't that the Pope of the present time will come. No, the first Pope, who is now in another birth, will come. This is a very important account. There is now the Kumbh Mela. All of that is the paraphernalia of devotion. When there is the total eclipse of degradation, the Father comes and makes you 16 celestial degrees full. The eclipse can be removed by spinning the discus of self realization. In the picture of your cycle, you should write at the bottom, this is the discus of self realization. This is something very good. This is God's coat of arms. These are God's things. Baba also continues to explain to you about the slides that you continue to make. If, for instance, some don't hear the murlis, they can't put the directions into practice. You have to study a murli every day. Those who are on service should act and put it into service. You have also made a very good slide of the Trimurti that has very good writing on it. There has to be two cycles, establishment and destruction. This is hell, that is heaven. This is the Bharat of today and that is the Bharat of tomorrow. The Father who grants you salvation in a second is sitting here. Recognize Baba and develop that faith, that's all. You then begin to make effort to receive liberation in life. At least you have taken birth. You have to claim your full inheritance from the Father. You cannot then ask for vice. The Father says, those who are corrupt cannot receive the inheritance. You saw the example of this one brackets Brahma in a practical way. Very few such ones emerge. They think about their honor, etc. too much. The Father is the creator and everyone has to follow his orders. If you don't follow Srimad, your status would be destroyed. The Father says, on this path of knowledge, you also need to be a conqueror of attachment. You have received Baba's directions. The children who are not obedient are unworthy. Those children are not real children. The direction of purity is good. It is at this time that the Father teaches you Raja Yoga. The poor people don't understand this. Among you children too, you understand number wise according to the efforts you make. The Father gives so many directions and yet it is with great difficulty that children actually put them into practice. The father says, you should make a calendar of the Trimurti. Everything depends on the picture of Trimurti, Shiva. It is written that establishment takes place through Brahma. Shiv Baba would surely only create heaven. The Iron Age, the devilish kingdom, is to be destroyed. There are so many people in the devilish kingdom and so people in the divine kingdom. Destruction of the innumerable religions and establishment of the one true religion is also written about. The father says, I decorate you so much and yet you don't reform yourselves. You continue to say wrong things. Here Baba says, forget everything, including your bodies, and constantly remember me alone. Don't become trapped by even your own body. By becoming trapped by the body of someone else, you will fall. For instance, those who had love for Mama died after Mama left because they were trapped by her name and form. The father tells you so much. Don't be body conscious. Constantly remember me alone. You must not even remember the body of this Brahma. By remembering this body, you aren't able to take full knowledge. It requires a lot of effort to become soul conscious. It is very difficult to stay in remembrance with the Father. You relate knowledge very well, but it is with difficulty that you stay in yoga. The more powerful you become, the more the storms of Maya will come. You then become trapped by the nature, by the name and form of someone or other, and are deceived. You have to be very cautious about this. Yoga also requires a lot of effort. Knowledge is easy. You repeatedly forget to have yoga, and this is why the Father says, how will you become conquerors of sinful actions? Stay in yoga and you won't commit any more sins. Otherwise, you will accumulate 100-fold. Here, both Dharamraj himself and the Father are together. This is why he himself says, don't commit any sin in the form of the Father. Otherwise, there will be 100-fold punishment. You have to become a conqueror of sinful actions by having yoga. It is easy to know the discuss of self-realization. Beneath the picture of this cycle, you have to write the whole brackets discuss. Beneath the picture of this cycle, you have to write the word discuss, not spinning wheels. Baba gives you many tactics. You children have to put them into action. Acha, to the sweetest, beloved, long lost, and now found children, love, remembrance, and good morning from the mother, the father, Bapdada. The spiritual father says Namaste to the spiritual children. Essence for dharana first. Don't become trapped in the name and form of any bodily beings. Don't become trapped in your own body. You have to remain very cautious about this. Only the path of knowledge, you definitely have to become a conqueror of attachment. Obey the directions of purity and create methods to make effort and create methods to create others pure. Blessing. May you renounce all trace of all the vices and become completely pure and a number one victorious soul. Someone who doesn't have the slightest trace of impurity is said to be completely pure. Purity is the personality of Brahmin life. This personality enables you to achieve success easily in the service you do. However, if there is a trace of even one vice, then its companions would also definitely be with that one. Just as there is happiness and peace with purity, in the same way the five vices have to have a deep relationship with impurity. Therefore, make sure that there isn't the slightest trace of even one vice, for only then will you become a number one victorious soul. Slogan: take one step of courage and people take one step of courage and you will receive 1,000-fold help. Take one step of courage and you will receive 1,000-fold hit. Take one step of courage and you will receive 1,000-fold help. अच्छा, ओम शांति, ओम शांति, ओम शांति.